History of Animation in a Minute or Less by Sophie. Animation is a beloved art by many, but have you ever wondered how it changed over the years? Well, let's find out. The Silent Era. During this era, things were quite different. Back then, you see, cartoons were hand-drawn, using pencil and paper. Creating shorts was very time-consuming. So, to make things simple and faster, animations drew their cartoons rounded and simple. It was called rubber hose animation. It was called that because cartoon characters' limbs would move every which way, like, well, a rubber hose. Cartoons were also in black and white, and cartoons also lacked sound, both music and dialogue. Most characters would wear gloves too, because most cartoons were colored in black ink, including the hands. But if a character would happen to put their hand in front of her body, or his body, well, you couldn't exactly see it. So, they added gloves. This era also gave rise to many of the first pioneers, such as Stuart Blackman and Emil Cole's Phantasmagoria, the very first hand-drawn cartoon using nothing but chalk, a chalkboard, and a big imagination. It was made lacking a script and a storyboard. It was the first time people could create things that couldn't possibly happen in real life. Winsor McCay's Gertie the Dinosaur, the very first cartoon character to have distinct personality traits. Gertie could express human-like traits. She had certain likes and dislikes, and could express human emotion, such as happy or sad. It was the first time cartoons had a storyline that was less nonsensical. And finally, Pat Sullivan and Otto Mesmer's Felix the Cat, the first ever cartoon movie star, even before our favorite mouse. Felix starred in many cartoons and was beloved by many. Felix even became more popular than even live-action movie stars of that time. It was the first time people took notice of how cartoons could possibly change the future of show business. The Golden Age. The silent era began to come to a close when Walt Disney showed his cartoon Steamboat Willie, one of the first debuts of Mickey Mouse, with his cartoon including sound for the very first time. It also began a new trend of using bar sheet music in cartoons. Animators would follow the beats of the music with each frame they ever drew. Basically, cartoons would dance along to the music. It was also the first time animators began to show color in their cartoons, with the first attempt being the cartoon, The Debut of Thomas the Cat. But sadly, it's now considered lost footage. The second attempt being Fiddlesticks, a cartoon starring Flip the Frog, created by Ub Iwerks. Cartoons began showing in movie theaters and small shorts that would play before a big movie. This is how cartoon stars such as Bugs Bunny from the Warner Brothers Looney Tunes became popular. The American television era. After a while, television began to become more and more popular, and the budget needed to make animated cartoons began to increase. And the world saw many cartoon divisions shutting down, such as Warner Brothers' Merrie Melody series. This was the era where the very first animated sitcom was aired on television, known as The Flintstones, created by Joseph Barbera of the Hanna-Barbera cartoons. Not only that, but the Flintstones series actually aired during prime time. Animation during this time began to change a little bit more. Instead of moving the entire body each frame, like during the silent era, In Golden Age, animators would just take one part of the body, such as the mouth, arms, or legs, and move them instead. This was called a limited animation technique. This animation style not only saved time, but money as well, and also helped it be a decent and appealing cartoon to the eye, all at the same time. As animation begins to become more and more popular, some would argue animation has truly changed over the years.